A family affair. The Bonds enter the field. The city streets buzzed with the hum of everyday life, but for the Bonds, it was just another day in the shadows. Ready for another adventure, sis? James's voice carried a mix of excitement and mischief, a stark contrast to the gravity of their mission.
Just focus on the mission, James. Jane's tone was sharp, her patience wearing thin. She knew the stakes were too high for distractions.
They may have been twins, but their approaches to espionage differed greatly. James thrived on the thrill, while Jane was all about precision and control. James, a graduate of MI6's grueling training program, exuded charm and ruthlessness in equal measure. His ability to blend in and manipulate situations was unmatched. Jane, honed by the Red Sparrow program in a remote Russian facility, possessed an icy demeanor and unparalleled skills in deception. Her training had been brutal, but it had made her one of the best. Their first mission as a duo took them to the heart of Cold War tension Berlin. The city was a hotbed of espionage, a place where every shadow held a secret. The year was 1961, the Berlin Wall a stark symbol of a divided world. The wall not only separated East from West, but also symbolized the ideological divide that defined the era. Their objective extract Dr. Alexei Ivanov, a brilliant Russian scientist seeking to defect to the West. Ivanov's knowledge was invaluable, and his defection could tip the scales in the Cold War. Ivanov possessed vital information on a new Soviet weapon, a game-changer in the delicate balance of power. The details he carried could alter the course of history. James relished the danger, the thrill of operating undercover. For him, the mission was as much about the excitement as it was about the outcome. Jane, ever pragmatic, focused on the mission's complexities. She meticulously planned every move, knowing that one mistake could mean disaster. East Berlin crawled with Stasi agents, their eyes and ears everywhere. The oppressive atmosphere was palpable, and the risk of being caught was ever present. The siblings, despite their contrasting styles, shared an unspoken understanding, a bond forged in blood and honed through years of shared secrets. They knew each other's strengths and weaknesses, and that made them a formidable team. Failure was not an option. The fate of the free world, it seemed, rested on their shoulders. Every decision, every action carried weight. The Bonds were ready to face whatever challenges lay ahead, united by their mission and their unbreakable bond. Target: Ivanov, a scientist worth saving. Dr. Ivanov was no ordinary scientist. His brilliance was matched only by his enigmatic nature, making him a figure of both admiration and suspicion. Dr. Ivanov was no ordinary scientist. His research in sonic weaponry had caught the attention of both superpowers. His work was groundbreaking, pushing the boundaries of what was thought possible in the realm of sound and its applications in warfare. His research in sonic weaponry had caught the attention of both superpowers. The potential to harness sound as a weapon was a game-changer, and Ivanov was at the forefront of this revolutionary field. His lab was a fortress of innovation, filled with advanced technology and guarded secrets. The Soviets saw him as a national treasure, a key to their dominance. They celebrated him with grand parades and honors, showcasing him as a symbol of Soviet ingenuity and power, a key to their dominance. Ivanov was kept under tight security, his every move monitored to ensure that his invaluable knowledge remained within Soviet borders. The West, however, saw him as a potential defector, a source of invaluable intelligence. Western intelligence agencies were keenly aware of Ivanov's significance and the potential advantage his defection could bring, a source of invaluable intelligence. They had been gathering information, planning, and waiting for the right moment to approach him.
I must get out before it's too late. The weight of his decision was heavy, and the fear of being caught was ever present.
Ivanov's reasons for defecting were unclear. Was it fear, guilt, or something else entirely? The motivations behind his actions were shrouded in mystery. Some whispered of a crisis of conscience, a realization of the destructive potential of his work. The thought of his creations being used to cause untold harm weighed heavily on him, a realization of the destructive potential of his work. The ethical implications of his research haunted him, leading to sleepless nights and a growing sense of dread. Others spoke of a personal vendetta, a score to settle with the Soviet regime. Perhaps there was a deeper, more personal reason for his desire to escape, a score to settle with the Soviet regime. Ivanov had seen the darker side of the regime, and his disillusionment had grown over the years. Whatever his motives, Ivanov had made contact with MI6, a desperate plea for extraction. The message was clear. He needed to get out, and he needed help. Time was of the essence. Every second counted, and the window of opportunity was rapidly closing. The Soviets were aware of Ivanov's wavering loyalty. They had their suspicions and were taking no chances. His apartment was under constant surveillance. Every move he made was watched, every conversation monitored. The only window of opportunity for extraction was during his weekly visit to the opera, a brief respite from the watchful eyes of the Stasi. It was the one place where he could blend into the crowd, if only for a short while. A brief respite from the watchful eyes of the Stasi. The opera was his sanctuary, a place where he could momentarily escape the suffocating surveillance. The mission was fraught with risk, a delicate dance of espionage in a city teeming with danger. The stakes were high, and the margin for error was slim. A delicate dance of espionage in a city teeming with danger. The agents had to navigate a labyrinth of threats, always one step away from disaster. But for James and Jane Bond, it was just another day at the office. They were seasoned professionals, ready to face whatever challenges lay ahead. The mission to save Ivanov was on, and failure was not an option.